The backyard of our Pasadena home looked like something out of a Pinterest board. White and mint green balloons formed an arch over the gift table. Delicate floral centerpieces adorned each of the 6 round tables scattered across the lawn, and a banner reading "Welcome Baby Carter" fluttered in the warm Southern California breeze. It was the first Saturday in May, and the weather had cooperated perfectly. Sunny but not too hot, with just enough clouds to keep guests comfortable. I stood near the dessert table, one hand resting on my very pregnant belly, watching my mother-in-law Patricia fuss with the placement of the cupcakes. At 7 months pregnant, I felt enormous, uncomfortable, and oddly emotional about everything. The baby shower my sister Lauren and best friend Jenna had planned was beautiful, and I kept tearing up at random moments. "Stop moving those," I told Patricia gently. "They look perfect." "The mint green ones should be in front," she insisted, rearranging them for the 3rd time. "They match the theme better." I exchanged an amused glance with Lauren, who was setting up the mimosa bar. My sister rolled her eyes affectionately. Patricia meant well, even if she was a bit controlling about details. "Where's Tyler?" Lauren asked, checking her watch. "The cake was supposed to be here 20 minutes ago." "He texted that there was a line at the bakery," I said, pulling out my phone to check. "Should be here any minute." Tyler, my husband of 4 years, had volunteered to pick up the cake from our favorite bakery in Old Pasadena. A 3-tier masterpiece with mint green frosting and delicate gold accents that I'd been dreaming about for weeks. The bakery was only 15 minutes away, but knowing Tyler, he'd probably gotten distracted chatting with someone or stopped to grab coffee. "As long as he's here before we start the games," Jenna said, appearing with an armful of party game supplies. "We're scheduled to start in 30 minutes. Guests were already arriving. My college roommates, cousins I hadn't seen in months, co-workers from the advertising agency where I worked as a creative director, neighbors from our street in Pasadena's historic district. Each arrival brought more gifts, more squeals of excitement, more conversations about baby names and nursery colors and whether I was having a boy or a girl. We'd decided to keep the gender a surprise, which drove Patricia crazy. "How am I supposed to buy appropriate gifts?" she'd complained multiple times. But Tyler and I liked the idea of that moment of discovery in the delivery room. My phone buzzed in my hand. I glanced down, expecting a text from Tyler about the cake. Instead, the screen showed a message notification on Tyler's phone, which I realized with a start was sitting on the gift table where he must have left it before departing for the bakery. "Vanessa. What time does it end?" I stared at the message. Vanessa, Tyler's tennis partner. They played doubles every Thursday evening at the Pasadena Racquet Club, and occasionally on weekends. I'd met her once, briefly. A tall blonde woman in her mid-30s with the kind of athletic build and confidence that comes from playing competitive sports. Tyler had mentioned she was divorced, a lawyer, friendly but focused. But why was she texting him about my baby shower? Without really thinking about it, I picked up his phone. Tyler and I had never been the kind of couple who policed each other's devices. We knew each other's passcodes. His was 0828, my birthday. We had nothing to hide. Or so I'd thought. I unlocked the phone and opened the message thread with Vanessa. "Tyler. Just left to grab the cake. Should be back in 30. Vanessa. Okay, call me when you can get away. We need to talk. Tyler. About? Vanessa. You know what about? We can't keep avoiding this conversation. Tyler. Not today, V. It's Natalie's shower. Vanessa. That's exactly why we need to talk. What are you going to tell her? Tyler. I don't know yet. Let me get through today first. Vanessa. Tyler, she's going to find out eventually. Better it comes from you than someone else. Tyler. I know. I just need more time. Vanessa. You don't have more time. What time does it end? My heart was pounding. I scrolled up through their conversation, looking for context that would make this make sense. The messages went back months, but most were logistical. Tennis court reservations, schedule changes, tournament information. Nothing suspicious. Until I reached a thread from 3 weeks ago. Vanessa. Max asked about you again today. Tyler. What did you tell him? Vanessa. The truth, that you're busy with work and your wife is pregnant. Tyler. Did he seem upset? Vanessa. He's 7, Tyler. He doesn't understand why his dad doesn't come around more. Tyler. Don't call me that. Vanessa. It's what you are. Avoiding it doesn't change the facts. I felt the world tilt. The backyard, the decorations, the arriving guests. Everything blurred at the edges. I read the messages again, trying to find an alternate explanation for what seemed impossible. Max, a 7-year-old boy, who called Tyler Dad. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. I sat down heavily on one of the white folding chairs, still staring at the screen. Natalie, you okay? Jenna appeared beside me, concerned. You look pale. Is it the baby? I'm fine, I managed, though I was decidedly not fine. Just, need a minute? She studied my face, then followed my gaze to Tyler's phone in my hands. What's wrong? I showed her the messages without speaking, watched her face change from confusion to shock to anger in the space of seconds. Holy shit, she breathed. Does Tyler have a kid? I don't know. I mean, these messages suggest, but it doesn't make sense. We've been together for 6 years. If he had a son, I would know, wouldn't I? Even as I said it, doubt crept in. Would I know? Tyler traveled occasionally for work, had vague guys' nights that I never questioned, played tennis every week with Vanessa, who apparently had a son named Max who considered Tyler his father. You need to ask him, Jenna said firmly. Right now. In the middle of my baby shower? Especially in the middle of your baby shower. Natalie, if he's been hiding a child from you, if there's even a possibility… She stopped, shaking her head. You deserve answers. Lauren appeared, carrying a tray of mini quiches. What's going on? Natalie, you look like you've seen a ghost. Jenna filled her in quietly while I continued scrolling through Tyler's phone, looking for more evidence. There wasn't much. Tyler had clearly been careful, but there were occasional references that now stood out. A text from 2 months ago. Can't make it to Max's game on Saturday, have a work thing. Another from January. V, I sent the check. Should cover this month and next. Checks. He'd been sending money. That son of a bitch, Lauren hissed. She'd never been Tyler's biggest fan, had expressed reservations when we got engaged. Too smooth, she'd said. Guys who are that charming usually have something to hide. I'd dismissed her concerns as sisterly overprotectiveness. Now I wondered what else I'd dismissed. My phone, my actual phone, buzzed with an incoming text. Tyler. Leaving bakery now. Traffic on Colorado is bad but should be there in 15. Love you. Love you. The casual sign-off at the end of a text about cake and traffic. Like this was a normal day. Like he wasn't hiding a child from his pregnant wife. I looked at his phone again, at that message from Vanessa. What time does it end? She was asking when the baby shower would be over. So she and Tyler could talk. So he could finally tell me, what? That he had a 7-year-old son? That he'd been lying for 6 years? That our entire relationship was built on a foundation of deception? Something cold and sharp crystallized in my chest. A clarity that cut through the shock and hurt. I typed a response to Vanessa, using Tyler's phone. Tyler. Is this your only kid? The implication was clear. If Tyler had been hiding one child, what else might he be hiding? The question was designed to unsettle, to make Vanessa wonder what I knew and what I was capable of discovering. I hit send and watched the message show as delivered, then read. Jenna and Lauren were both watching me, identical expressions of concern mixed with fierce protectiveness on their faces. What did you do? Jenna asked. I responded. As Tyler. I showed them the message. Lauren's eyes widened. Oh shit. That's actually brilliant. Vague enough that she'll panic. Specific enough that she knows you're onto something. My phone buzzed almost immediately. Not Vanessa responding to Tyler's phone, but a new message coming through to my phone. Unknown number. This is Vanessa Mitchell. I think we need to talk. Can you call me? I stared at the message. She'd figured it out. Somehow knew I was the one who'd responded. Before I could decide what to do, I heard Tyler's voice from the side yard. Sorry I'm late. This cake weighs a ton. Someone want to help? He appeared around the corner of the house, carrying a large white bakery box, completely oblivious to the fact that his entire life was about to implode. He was smiling, looking handsome in the light blue button-down I'd bought him last month, his dark hair slightly messed from the wind. I looked at him, this man I'd married, who I'd built a life with, who I was about to have a child with, and felt like I was seeing a stranger. "Natalie, there you are." He set the box down on the dessert table and crossed to me, leaning down to kiss my forehead. "Sorry that took so long. You look beautiful. How are you feeling?" "I need to talk to you," I said quietly. "Now." Something in my tone made him straighten, his smile faltering. "What's wrong? Is it the baby?" "The baby's fine, but we need to talk, privately." I stood, holding his phone in one hand, and walked toward the house. After a moment of confused hesitation, he followed. Behind us, I heard Jenna quietly telling arriving guests that we'd be starting the games in just a few minutes, heard Lauren making excuses about last-minute preparations, my sister and my best friend forming a protective barrier between me and the celebration that was supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life. Inside the house, in the kitchen that Tyler and I had renovated together last year, I turned to face him. "You left your phone outside," I said, holding it up. "Vanessa texted." His face went completely white. For a second, he looked like he might be sick. "Nat, do you have a son?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady. "A 7-year-old boy named Max?" Tyler closed his eyes, his shoulders sagging. When he opened them again, there were tears on his lashes. "Yes," he whispered. "I have a son." The admission hung in the air between us. Through the kitchen window, I could see guests arriving, laughing, carrying brightly wrapped gifts, celebrating a baby that would be born into a family built on lies. "How long were you planning to wait before telling me?" I asked. "Until after our baby was born? Until Max showed up at our door? Until Vanessa decided she was tired of being your secret?" "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Tyler? Explain it to me. Make it make sense." He sank into one of the kitchen chairs, his head in his hands. "I don't know where to start." "Start with the truth," I said. "All of it. Right now." And outside, through the windows, I could see my baby shower continuing without me. The celebration of new life, new beginnings, new joy. While inside, everything I thought I knew was crumbling to dust. Tyler sat at our kitchen table, his hands clasped in front of him like he was praying, or maybe preparing for an interrogation. Outside, I could hear the muted sounds of the party continuing, laughter, the clink of glasses, someone testing the microphone for the games. I remained standing, one hand braced against the counter for support. At 7 months pregnant, standing for long periods made my back ache, but I refused to sit. Sitting felt too comfortable, too domestic. Like we were just having a normal conversation instead of discussing the fact that my husband had hidden a child from me for 6 years. "Start talking," I said. Tyler took a shaky breath. "I met Vanessa 9 years ago, before I met you. We dated for about 8 months. Okay." I tried to keep my voice neutral, clinical. "Go on." "It was serious. At least, I thought it was. We talked about moving in together, about the future. Then she told me she was pregnant." He looked up at me, his eyes pleading for understanding. I panicked, Nat. I was 26, just starting my career in software development, barely making enough to support myself. I wasn't ready to be a father. "So, what did you do?" I told her I needed time to think, that we should take a break while I figured things out. His voice was barely above a whisper. I was a coward. Instead of figuring it out, I ran, changed my phone number, moved to a different neighborhood. I completely ghosted her. I felt sick. "You abandoned a pregnant woman?" "Yes." The admission seemed to cost him something. I convinced myself she was better off without me, that she'd find someone better, that I was doing her a favor by getting out of the way. I blocked out the whole thing, pretended it never happened. For how long? 2 years. I didn't think about Vanessa or the baby. I moved to Pasadena, got a better job, started over. Then I met you. He smiled weakly. You were the best thing that had ever happened to me. Smart, funny, beautiful. I fell hard. By the time we got serious, Vanessa and the pregnancy felt like something that had happened to a different person. But it wasn't a different person, I said. It was you. You just chose to forget about your responsibilities. I know. And I'm not trying to excuse what I did. I was wrong. Completely, inexcusably wrong. When did Vanessa come back into your life? Tyler rubbed his face tiredly. About a year and a half ago. I ran into her at the racket club. She'd just moved to Pasadena for work. She recognized me immediately. A year and a half. While we were married. While we were trying to get pregnant. And he'd said nothing. She was with Max, Tyler continued. This little boy who had my eyes, my smile. Seeing him was, I can't even describe it. All the guilt I'd buried came rushing back. And there was something else, too. What? Love. His voice cracked. I looked at this kid I'd never met. This 7-year-old boy I'd abandoned before he was born. And I felt this overwhelming love. It didn't make sense. But there it was. I closed my eyes, trying to process. What did Vanessa say when she saw you? She was shocked at first, then angry. She laid into me right there in the parking lot with Max in the car. Told me what a piece of shit I was. How I'd left her to raise our son alone. How she'd had to put herself through law school while working 2 jobs and managing childcare. She had every right to be angry. She did. She does. Tyler looked at me. But then she calmed down. Said that hating me hadn't helped anyone, that she'd built a good life for herself and Max, that they were fine. But she also said that Max deserved to know his father. So you started seeing him? Not at first. I didn't know what to do. I was married to you. We were happy. And I knew that revealing this would destroy everything. I told myself I'd already done enough damage, that inserting myself into Max's life would just make things worse. But you did insert yourself, I pointed out. The messages mention you sending money, going to his games. Tyler nodded. Vanessa and I kept running into each other at the club. She'd bring Max to the junior tennis program. I'd be there for my lessons. It became impossible to avoid. Eventually, she suggested we play doubles together. Said it would look less suspicious than us constantly having intense conversations in the parking lot. Suspicious to who? To Max? To you. The words hit like a slap. You were worried about me finding out. Yes, I know how that sounds. But Natalie, I was terrified of losing you. You're everything to me. The thought of you finding out what I'd done, who I'd been. He broke off, unable to continue. So you just kept lying for a year and a half. I started spending time with Max, just little things at first. Grabbing ice cream after his tennis lessons, going to his Little League games. Vanessa was remarkably understanding about it. She said she wasn't interested in punishing me, but Max deserved a father who showed up. I thought about all those Thursday evenings. Your tennis nights. Sometimes tennis, sometimes Max. I'd play a match with Vanessa, then she'd go home and I'd take Max for burgers or to the park, or I'd skip tennis entirely and take him to a movie. Tyler's expression softened. He's an incredible kid, Nat. Smart, funny, kind. He loves dinosaurs and soccer and builds these elaborate Lego structures. Stop. I held up my hand. Don't tell me about him like he's some random kid you mentored. He's your son. Your child that you hid from me while I was planning to have your other child. The reality of it was starting to sink in fully. Our baby, the one currently doing somersaults in my belly, would have a 7-year-old half-brother they knew nothing about. I was about to become a stepmother to a child I'd never met. When were you planning to tell me? I asked. I don't know. I kept putting it off, telling myself I'd find the right moment. When you got pregnant, I almost told you then. But you were so happy, and I couldn't bear to ruin it. Then as the pregnancy progressed, it felt like the stakes kept getting higher. That text from Vanessa. What are you going to tell her? She's been pushing you to come clean. Yes. She said it wasn't fair to you or to Max. That he was asking why I didn't bring my wife to meet him. Why he couldn't come to our house. Why it had to be a secret. She gave me until today to figure out how to tell you, or she was going to tell you herself. I looked at Tyler. Really looked at him. He seemed smaller somehow, diminished by the weight of his secrets. Part of me wanted to comfort him, to tell him it would be okay, but a larger part was furious at his selfishness, his cowardice, his willingness to let me build a life on a foundation of lies. What did you tell Max about me? I asked. That I'm married to someone wonderful, that we're having a baby, that someday soon he'll get to meet you both. Tyler's eyes filled with tears again. He's excited, Nat. He wants a little brother or sister. He's been asking when he can meet you. The image was too much. A 7-year-old boy excited to meet his baby sibling, eager for a family that his father had been systematically hiding from him. And from me. I need to sit down, I said, my legs suddenly shaky. Tyler jumped up to help me into a chair, his hand on my elbow. I let him, too exhausted to resist. Does anyone else know? I asked. Your parents? Your brother? No, just Vanessa and Max. And now you. So, for a year and a half, you've been living a double life. Playing tennis with your ex-girlfriend, spending time with your secret son, sending them money, going to baseball games, all while coming home to me and pretending everything was normal. I know how it sounds. It sounds like you're a liar, I interrupted. It sounds like you've been lying to me every single day for 18 months. Every time you said you were at tennis, every time you came home late, every time you transferred money out of our account. I used my own checking account, Tyler said quickly. The one I had before we got married. I never touched our joint account. Oh, well, that makes it so much better, I said sarcastically. You compartmentalized your deception. How thoughtful. Natalie, I'm so sorry. Stop apologizing and tell me the rest. What else haven't you told me? Tyler was quiet for a long moment. Vanessa wants me to establish formal paternity and set up a custody arrangement. She said it's not fair to Max to have me in his life informally, that he needs consistency and structure. Custody. The word felt foreign. You mean like visitation schedules? Weekends and holidays? Yes. So our baby will grow up sharing their father with a half-sibling they didn't know existed. Max will be at our house every other weekend, or however the arrangement works out. We'll coordinate schedules with your ex-girlfriend, blend our families, all while I try to process the fact that you lied to me for years. I don't know what else to say except that I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough, Tyler. I stood again, pacing the kitchen despite my aching back. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't make me trust you again. Through the window, I saw Jenna peeking in, clearly worried. I gave her a small wave to indicate I was okay, or as okay as I could be given the circumstances. What do you want to do? Tyler asked quietly. I don't know. Right now, I have 50 people in our backyard waiting to celebrate our baby. So, we're going to table this conversation and go back outside. You want to continue with the shower? What I want is for the last hour to not have happened, I snapped. But since I can't have that, I'm going to go out there, smile, play the stupid games, open gifts, and pretend my life isn't falling apart. Because those people came here to celebrate with us, and they don't deserve to be caught in the middle of this disaster. Tyler nodded. Okay, whatever you need. What I need is for you to stay away from me for the rest of the day. Smile, play the proud father-to-be, help with cleanup. But don't touch me, don't try to comfort me, and don't act like we're okay. Because we're not. I understand. I walked toward the door, then stopped. One more thing. I want to meet them. Vanessa and Max. This week. If they're going to be part of our lives, if my child is going to have a relationship with them, I need to know who they are. I'll arrange it, Tyler said quickly. Whatever you want. I left him in the kitchen and walked back outside, plastering on a smile that felt like it might crack my face. Lauren and Jenna immediately appeared on either side of me, a united front. Are you okay? Lauren whispered. What happened? Not now, I murmured. We'll talk later. Right now, we have a party to host. The next 2 hours were surreal. I sat in the designated mom-to-be chair and opened gifts. Tiny onesies, soft blankets, books about parenting, a beautiful bassinet from Patricia. I played games, guessed baby food flavors while blindfolded, participated in a diaper-changing race using baby dolls. I smiled and laughed and thanked everyone for coming. And the whole time, I felt like I was watching myself from a distance. Like this was happening to someone else, and I was just a spectator. Tyler played his part perfectly. Brought me water, made sure I was comfortable, took pictures, chatted with guests. To everyone else, we looked like the perfect couple expecting their first child. Only Lauren and Jenna knew the truth. And across town, Vanessa and Max, the family I didn't know I had, were waiting to become part of my life. After the last guest left and we'd cleaned up, Tyler, Lauren, Jenna, and I working in near silence, my sister pulled me aside. "I'm not leaving you alone with him tonight," she said firmly. "Pack a bag. You're staying at my place. Lauren, I'm 7 months pregnant. I can't just—" "Yes, you can. You need space to think, and you need people around you who aren't lying pieces of shit." She glared at Tyler, who was collecting trash bags from around the yard. "She's right," Jenna added. "Come stay with me if Lauren's place doesn't work. But don't stay here tonight. Not after what he told you." I looked at our house, the craftsman bungalow Tyler and I had bought 3 years ago, that we'd lovingly renovated, where we'd planned to raise our family. The nursery upstairs was nearly finished, painted a soft yellow with white furniture and stuffed animals already arranged on shelves. But now that future felt tainted, incomplete, based on partial truths and convenient omissions. "Okay," I agreed. "Let me pack a bag." Tyler didn't protest when I told him I was leaving, just nodded, looking defeated, and asked if there was anything I needed. "Time," I said. "I need time to process this. Don't call me, don't text me. When I'm ready to talk, I'll reach out." "What about the doctor's appointment on Tuesday?" We had our 30-week checkup scheduled. Under normal circumstances, Tyler would have taken the afternoon off work to come with me. "I'll go alone. Or with Lauren." He flinched but nodded. "Okay. Whatever you need." I packed enough clothes for a few days and let Lauren drive me to her apartment in Silver Lake. As we pulled away from the curb, I looked back at Tyler standing in our doorway, looking lost. And I felt absolutely nothing. I spent 3 days at Lauren's apartment, sleeping in her guest room and trying to process what my life had become. My sister worked from home, so she was there whenever I needed to talk, cry, or just sit in angry silence. Jenna came over every evening after work, bringing takeout and moral support. On Tuesday, Lauren drove me to my OB appointment. The baby was doing great, measuring right on track, heartbeat strong and steady, all the numbers exactly where they should be. The doctor asked if I was feeling stressed, noting that my blood pressure was slightly elevated. "Just some personal stuff going on," I said vaguely. "Well, try to take it easy. Stress isn't good for you or the baby. Make sure you're resting, eating well, staying hydrated." If only it were that simple. Tyler had respected my request for space. No calls, no texts, nothing. But Wednesday morning, I woke up to find a message from Vanessa. "Vanessa, Tyler gave me your number. I know this situation is terrible, and I take responsibility for my part in it. If you want to meet Max and me, we're available whenever works for you. No pressure, but I think it might help to put faces to names." I stared at the message for a long time. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to pretend that Vanessa and Max didn't exist. But they did exist, and they would continue to exist whether I acknowledged them or not. My baby would be born in 2 months, and that baby deserved to know their half-brother. I deserved to know the full truth about the people who would be part of my child's life. Me. Saturday afternoon? Somewhere neutral? Maybe a park? Vanessa. "There's a nice playground at Brookside Park. Max loves it there. 2 p.m.? Me. I'll be there." I told Lauren about the plan that evening. She immediately volunteered to come with me. "You're not doing this alone," she said firmly. "You need backup. It's not a confrontation. I just want to meet them. Still, you're 7 months pregnant and emotionally vulnerable. I'm coming." Saturday arrived too quickly. Lauren and I drove to Brookside Park in Pasadena, arriving 15 minutes early. The park was busy with families enjoying the warm May afternoon. Kids on swings, parents pushing strollers, dogs playing in the grass. At exactly 2 p.m., I saw them. Vanessa was tall and blonde, as I remembered from our brief meeting at the tennis club. She wore jeans and a simple white t-shirt, her hair pulled back in a ponytail. Next to her was a little boy, Max. My breath caught. Tyler had been right. The resemblance was unmistakable. Max had Tyler's dark hair, his brown eyes, the same dimple in his left cheek that appeared when he smiled. He was wearing a Dodgers t-shirt and clutching a soccer ball. Vanessa spotted us and raised a hand in acknowledgement. They approached slowly, giving me time to prepare myself. "Natalie," Vanessa said when they reached us. "Thank you for meeting us. This is Max." "Hi." the boy said shyly, looking up at me with those familiar eyes. Hi, Max, I managed. I'm Natalie. This is my sister Lauren. Are you my dad's wife? Max asked with the directness that only children possess. Yes, I am. Cool. Dad said you have a baby in your tummy. He gestured at my obvious pregnancy. Is it a boy or a girl? We don't know yet. We want to be surprised. I hope it's a boy, Max said matter-of-factly. Then we can play soccer together. The innocence of the statement hit me hard. This child had no idea about the complexity of the situation. To him, finding out his dad had a wife and another baby on the way was just cool. An expansion of his world, not a source of pain. Should we sit? Vanessa suggested, gesturing toward a nearby picnic table. Unless you'd rather walk? Sitting is good, I said. At 7 months pregnant, I tired easily. We settled at the table while Max ran off to the nearby playground equipment, remaining within eyesight but giving the adults space to talk. For a moment, no one spoke. Finally, Vanessa broke the silence. I owe you an apology, she said. I should have insisted Tyler tell you about Max immediately. Instead, I let it drag on for 18 months while I watched him try to juggle 2 families. Why did you? I asked. Why let him keep it secret? Vanessa sighed. Honestly? At first, I was just shocked to see him again after all those years. He'd completely ghosted me when I was pregnant, changed his number, disappeared. I raised Max alone, convinced myself we were better off without him. Then suddenly, there he was, married and happy, and I was furious. Understandably. But then I saw the way he looked at Max, like he was seeing something precious he'd lost. And I thought, maybe Max deserves a chance to know his father. Even if Tyler is a coward who abandoned us, even if he lied to his wife for years, maybe my son deserves that relationship. I watched Max on the playground, climbing the jungle gym with the fearlessness of childhood. What did you tell him about Tyler? The truth, in age-appropriate terms. That his dad and I dated before he was born. That things didn't work out. But that doesn't mean his dad doesn't love him. When Tyler came back into our lives, I told Max that his dad wanted to get to know him, wanted to be part of his life now. And Tyler never mentioned he was married? Oh, he mentioned it. Max knows you exist. He's been asking to meet you for months. I'm the one who told Tyler he had to come clean, that this secret-keeping wasn't fair to anyone. Not to you, not to Max, not even to Tyler himself. Lauren, who'd been silent until now, spoke up. For what it's worth, I think you were right to push him. Natalie deserved to know. I should have pushed harder sooner, Vanessa said. I let it go on too long because it was convenient for me. Tyler was finally stepping up as a father. Max was thriving with the attention, and I told myself that the timeline didn't matter as much as the outcome. But it does matter, I said quietly. Every day he didn't tell me was another day of lying, another day of making decisions about our future based on incomplete information. I know, and I'm sorry. Vanessa met my eyes. I know sorry doesn't fix anything, but I mean it. You didn't deserve this. We sat in silence, watching Max play. He'd found another boy his age, and they were kicking a soccer ball back and forth, the easy camaraderie of children who'd just met but were already friends. What do you want from Tyler? I finally asked. Long-term? Consistency. Structure. Max needs to know he can count on his dad, that Tyler won't disappear again if things get hard. I want formal custody arrangements, legal documentation, child support that's appropriate to Tyler's income. Not because I need the money, I make good money as a lawyer, but because Max deserves that commitment. That seems fair. I also want Max to know his sibling, to be part of that baby's life, and for your baby to know they have an older brother. Vanessa's expression softened. I know this is incredibly awkward and painful for you. If I could go back and change how it happened, I would. But Max and your baby are innocent in all this. They deserve to know each other. She was right. Whatever anger I felt toward Tyler, whatever hurt and betrayal I was processing, the children didn't deserve to suffer for it. I agree, I said. I want that too. Really? Vanessa looked surprised. My baby is going to have a big brother. That's actually kind of wonderful, in a weird way. I always wanted siblings growing up, just had Lauren. And I thought our baby would be an only child for at least a few years. Now they'll have Max. Lauren squeezed my hand under the table, proud and supportive. Can I ask you something? Vanessa said hesitantly. What are you going to do about Tyler? I don't know yet. Right now I'm staying with Lauren while I figure things out. He lied to me for 18 months. That's not something I can just get past. He loves you, Vanessa said. I can see it in the way he talks about you. He's terrified of losing you. He should have thought about that before building a relationship with his secret son. Vanessa nodded. Fair enough. For what it's worth, I don't want your marriage. Tyler and I are ancient history. Whatever we had ended the moment he abandoned me when I was pregnant, I'm only in this equation because we share a child. I believe you. And surprisingly, I did. Vanessa seemed genuinely remorseful, genuinely committed to doing right by Max. She wasn't trying to steal my husband or destroy my marriage. She was just a mother trying to give her son what he deserved, a relationship with his father. Max ran back to the table, his face flushed from playing. Mom, can I get ice cream from the truck? There was indeed an ice cream truck parked near the playground, already surrounded by children. Sure, buddy. Vanessa pulled out her wallet. Can Natalie and Lauren come too? Max asked. I want to show them how I can eat a whole ice cream sandwich without dripping. The request was so innocent, so genuine, that I found myself smiling for the first time in days. I'd love to see that, I said. We walked to the ice cream truck together. Vanessa, Max, Lauren, and me. Max kept up a steady stream of chatter about his soccer team, his favorite teacher, a book he was reading about dinosaurs. He didn't ask intrusive questions about the baby or why his dad and I lived separately from him. He was just a 7-year-old kid excited to have new people pay attention to him. When we got ice cream, Max chose a chocolate sandwich, I got a cherry popsicle. We found a shady spot under a tree. Max demonstrated his no-drip technique, which involved taking very small bites and licking around the edges constantly. It was adorable and messy, and completely unsuccessful at preventing drips, which made him laugh. I did my best, he said, chocolate on his chin and hands. That was an excellent effort, I assured him. After we cleaned him up with the napkins Vanessa had wisely brought, Max looked at me seriously. Are you going to have the baby soon? He asked. In about 2 months. July. That's when my birthday is, July 15th. Will the baby be born on my birthday? Probably not, but close to it. Cool. We can have a party together. He said this like it was already decided, like it was the most natural thing in the world. And maybe it was. Maybe in his world, unencumbered by adult complications and betrayals, it was simple. He had a dad, his dad was married to me, we were having a baby, and that baby would be his sibling. No drama, no lies, just family. Later, as Lauren and I were walking back to the car, I thought about Max's easy acceptance. How children could adapt to situations that would break adults. How love didn't require perfect circumstances or perfect people. Just willingness to show up and try. He's a sweet kid, Lauren observed. He really is. And the resemblance to Tyler is uncanny. How do you feel? About meeting them? I considered the question. Better, actually. Putting faces to names helps. Seeing that Vanessa isn't some villain trying to destroy my life, that Max is just an innocent kid who wants a dad. It makes it all more real, but also more manageable. And Tyler? Still processing, still hurt, still not sure if I can forgive him for lying for so long. I placed a hand on my belly, feeling the baby kick. But I know that whatever I decide about our marriage, Max and this baby deserve to know each other. That part I'm sure about. My phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. Tyler. How did it go? Are you okay? I stared at the message. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to make him wait and worry. But that wasn't productive. It was just petty. Me. It went fine. Max is great. Vanessa was honest and respectful. We need to talk soon. Lots to figure out. Tyler. Thank you for meeting them. I know that couldn't have been easy. Can we talk tonight? Me. Tomorrow. Come to Lauren's at 2 p.m. Bring financial records. I want to see exactly how much you've been sending them and from which accounts. Tyler. Okay. Whatever you need. I love you, Nat. I didn't respond to the last part. Love felt complicated right now, tainted by lies and omissions, and 18 months of deception. But tomorrow, we'd start the hard work of figuring out what came next. For our marriage, for our baby, and for the unexpected family we'd become. Tyler arrived at Lauren's apartment at exactly 2 p.m. on Sunday, carrying a folder of financial documents and looking like he hadn't slept in days. His shirt was wrinkled, his hair uncombed, dark circles under his eyes. He looked terrible, and I felt a small, petty satisfaction in that. Lauren let him in but didn't offer to leave us alone. She made it clear through her body language that she was staying put, that Tyler would have to have this conversation with an audience. "Thanks for meeting with me," Tyler said quietly, taking the seat I indicated at Lauren's dining table. "Show me the financials," I said, skipping pleasantries. He opened the folder and spread out bank statements, check registers, and a handwritten ledger tracking payments to Vanessa. I reviewed each document carefully while he sat in silence, waiting. The numbers were shocking. Over 18 months, he'd sent Vanessa over $40,000 in child support. The payments had started small, $500 a month, then increased to $1,000, then $1,500. The most recent payment, from last month, was $2,000. "This is more than legally required child support," I observed. "I know, but Vanessa never asked for it legally. She just told me what Max's expenses were. School, sports, medical, childcare for when she worked late. I wanted to cover my share." "Did you use our money for this?" "No. Everything came from my personal account, the one I've had since before we met. I never touched our joint account or household budget." It was technically true, but it felt like semantics. We were married. His money was our money, my money was our money. Sending thousands of dollars to another woman without telling me felt like a violation regardless of which account it came from. "What's your total income?" I asked. He told me, a figure I already knew, but I wanted to hear him say it. "So you've been giving Vanessa roughly 20% of your gross income every month for a year and a half?" "Yes. Money that could have gone into savings for our baby, for the nursery, for medical expenses, for maternity leave when I won't be working full-time." Tyler flinched. "I'm sorry. You're right. I should have been planning better for all of it." I set down the papers and looked at him directly. "Here's what I need to understand, Tyler. You made a choice every single month for 18 months to send money to Vanessa and Max without telling me. That's not a one-time lie or a mistake. That's systematic deception. You budgeted for it, transferred the funds, kept records, all while coming home to me and acting like everything was normal." "I know. Do you? Because I don't think you do. I don't think you understand what it feels like to realize that the person you trusted most in the world has been lying to you every single day. That every conversation we had about our finances, our future, our family, you were holding back a massive piece of information. I was trying to do the right thing for everyone." "No," I interrupted sharply. "You were trying to avoid consequences. You were trying to have it all. Your son, your marriage, your comfortable life, without having to face the hard reality of what you'd done." Lauren, who'd been silent until now, spoke up. "Can I ask a question?" Tyler nodded. "Why did you ghost Vanessa in the first place? What made you think it was okay to abandon a pregnant woman?" He was quiet for a long moment. "Honestly, I was terrified. I grew up watching my dad work himself to death trying to support our family. He had 3 jobs, was never home, died of a heart attack at 52. I swore I'd never be in that position, trapped, struggling, sacrificing everything. So when Vanessa got pregnant, you saw your dad's life stretched out in front of you and ran," I said. "Yes, it was cowardly and selfish and wrong. I've had 9 years to regret that choice, but not enough regret to tell me about it when we got serious. Not enough regret to mention it before we got married or when we started trying for a baby. I convinced myself it was in the past, that it didn't matter anymore. Except it wasn't in the past," Lauren pointed out. "There was a whole child living his life, growing up without a father because you were too scared to face what you'd done." Tyler's face crumpled. "I know, and meeting Max, getting to know him, it's been the best and worst thing at the same time. Best because he's incredible and I love him. Worst because I see what I missed. His first steps, his first words, learning to read, losing his first tooth. I wasn't there for any of it. That was your choice, I said quietly. You could have been there. You just chose not to be. I know. We sat in heavy silence. Finally, I said, I need to know something, and I need you to be completely honest. Is there anything else you're hiding? Any other children? Any other secrets? No. I swear to you, Natalie, there's nothing else. Just Max. Just this. How can I believe you? You've lied about this for 18 months. How do I know you're not lying about other things? You don't, he admitted. That's the worst part. I've destroyed your trust, and I don't know how to rebuild it. You can't, I said. That's what you're not understanding. Trust, once broken this completely, can't be repaired. It's gone. Tyler's eyes filled with tears. So, you're divorcing me? I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm 7 months pregnant, Tyler. I'm having our baby in 2 months. I need to think about what's best for them, not just what feels right for me. I'll do anything, he said desperately. Therapy, complete transparency, whatever you need. Just please don't give up on us. I'm not the one who gave up on us. You did that when you chose to lie. Lauren's phone rang. She glanced at it, then at me. I need to take this. Work thing. Will you be okay? I nodded, and she stepped into her bedroom, leaving Tyler and me alone for the first time since the baby shower. I met Max yesterday, I said. And Vanessa. Tyler looked up, surprised. You did? How was it? He's wonderful, sweet, funny, smart. He looks exactly like you. I placed a hand on my belly. Our baby is going to have a big brother. I'm glad you met them. Vanessa wants formal custody arrangements, legal documentation, regular visitation. I know. We've been discussing it. Here's what I've decided, I said, having thought about this all night. Regardless of what happens with our marriage, you're going to be a father to both of your children. You're going to establish legal paternity, set up proper child support, create a visitation schedule that gives Max consistency. Of course. Absolutely. And when our baby is born, Max is going to be part of their life from day one. No secrets, no hiding. They're siblings, and they deserve to know each other. I agree completely. As for us, I paused, trying to find the right words. I need time. I need space to figure out if I can live with what you did, if I can trust you again, or if that's even possible. What does that mean practically? It means you move out. Find an apartment. We separate, at least temporarily. We coordinate co-parenting for the baby, but we don't live together while I'm figuring this out. Tyler looked devastated. You want me to leave our house? Yes. I'm moving back home. It's better for the baby than staying on Lauren's couch, but you need to find somewhere else to live. For how long? I don't know, until I figure out what I want. Maybe that's a month. Maybe it's 6 months. Maybe it's forever. What about the baby? The birth? I'd thought about this too. I want you there. When I go into labor, I'll call you. You can be in the delivery room. You can cut the cord. All of it. Our baby deserves to have their father present from the beginning. Even if we're separated, being angry at you doesn't mean I want to punish our child. They didn't do anything wrong. Tyler buried his face in his hands. When he looked up, tears were streaming down his face. I've destroyed everything, haven't I? You've damaged it badly. Whether it's destroyed, I don't know yet. I love you so much, Natalie. I know I've done a terrible job of showing it, but I do. I know you think you do. But Tyler, love isn't just words or feelings. It's actions. It's honesty. It's trust. And you failed at all of those things. Give me a chance to prove I can do better. That's what the separation is for. You have time to prove yourself. Not to me, but to yourself. Prove you can be a good father to Max consistently. Prove you can be honest even when it's hard. Prove you can handle difficult situations without running away. And if I do, if I prove all that, then maybe we can talk about rebuilding, but I'm not making any promises. Lauren returned, having clearly timed her call to give us privacy, but not wanting to leave me alone with Tyler for too long. Everything okay? She asked. Tyler's going to move out, I said. Start looking for an apartment this week. I'll be out by next weekend, Tyler said quickly. You can move back home whenever you're ready. I'll come back on Tuesday. That gives you 2 days to pack your essentials. He nodded, defeated but accepting. Thank you for talking to me. For not just giving up immediately. I'm not doing this for you, I said clearly. I'm doing it for our baby. They deserve parents who at least tried to work things out. After Tyler left, Lauren made us tea and we sat on her couch in comfortable silence. How do you feel? She finally asked. Exhausted, sad, angry, but also clear. Does that make sense? Perfect sense. I know what I need to do now. I need to focus on getting through these last 2 months of pregnancy healthy and stable. I need to prepare for the baby's arrival. And I need to give Tyler space to either prove he's changed or prove he hasn't. And if he hasn't, if he can't be what you need, then I file for divorce and we co-parent. It won't be easy, but people do it all the time. You're stronger than you think, Lauren said, squeezing my hand. I have to be. I'm going to be a mother. That baby is counting on me to make good decisions, to create a stable environment, to show them what self-respect looks like. You're going to be an amazing mother. I placed my hand on my belly, feeling the baby kick. I hope so. This isn't how I imagined starting parenthood, but I guess we rarely get the lives we planned. No, Lauren agreed, but sometimes we get something better. I wasn't sure about better, but I was sure about this. I would survive. I would adapt. And I would build a good life for my child, with or without Tyler. That felt like enough for now. 2 months later, mid-July. The contractions started at 3 a.m. on a sweltering July night. I'd been having Braxton Hicks contractions for weeks, so at first I wasn't sure if this was real labor or just another false alarm. But when the third contraction came, stronger and more regular than before, I knew. I called Tyler. He answered immediately, alert despite the early hour. Natalie? Everything okay? I think it's time. Contractions are about 5 minutes apart. I'm on my way. Don't move. Are you timing them? Yes. I've got an app. Meet me at the hospital. I can come get you. I'm fine to drive. Meet me there. I hung up and called Lauren next. She answered on the first ring, clearly having been waiting for this call. It's baby time? She asked. Baby time. I'm leaving now. See you at Huntington Hospital. The drive was surreal, navigating empty Pasadena streets in the pre-dawn darkness, contractions coming regularly now, the knowledge that the next time I drove this route, I'd have a baby in the car seat Tyler had installed weeks ago. Tyler and Lauren arrived at the hospital within minutes of each other. Despite everything that had happened, despite the separation and the hurt and the uncertainty about our future, I was glad to see him. His face was pale with fear and excitement, his hands shaking as he helped me fill out the admission forms. You've got this, he kept saying. You're amazing. You're going to be great. Labor was long and hard. 18 hours of contractions, of breathing through pain, of Lauren holding one hand and Tyler holding the other. The nursing staff was excellent, supportive and kind, explaining everything, helping me through each stage. At 9:47 p.m., our daughter was born. She came out screaming, pink and perfect and furious at being thrust into the bright, cold world. The nurse placed her on my chest immediately, and I felt my heart expand in a way I didn't know was possible. Oh my God, I breathed, looking down at her. Hi, baby. Hi. She had Tyler's dark hair, lots of it, and my nose. Her eyes were tightly closed, her tiny fists waving in indignation. She was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. She's perfect, Tyler said, tears streaming down his face. Natalie, she's absolutely perfect. Lauren was crying too, taking photos, capturing this moment. What's her name? We'd agreed on this weeks ago, back before everything fell apart. Harper, I said. Harper Rose Carter. They cleaned her up, weighed her, 7 pounds, 3 ounces, measured her, did all the necessary checks. Then they handed her back to me, wrapped in a hospital blanket, wearing a tiny pink hat. I looked at Tyler, who was staring at our daughter with an expression of complete wonder. You want to hold her? I asked. Can I? I passed Harper to him carefully, showing him how to support her head. He cradled her like she was made of glass, looking down at her with absolute awe. Hi, Harper, he whispered. I'm your dad. I'm going to do better for you than I've done for other people. I promise. The words hit me hard. A reference to Max, to his failures, to his determination to be better. I watched him with our daughter and saw genuine love, genuine commitment. But was it enough? I was too exhausted to think about it right now. Instead, I just watched my daughter discover the world, listened to her tiny sounds, marveled at her perfect fingers and toes. Lauren stayed until visiting hours ended, then reluctantly left to let me rest. Tyler was allowed to stay the night, sleeping in the uncomfortable chair next to my bed, while Harper slept in her bassinet. Around 2 a.m., Harper woke up crying. I tried to nurse her, following the lactation consultant's instructions from earlier, and after some fumbling, she latched on. The feeling was strange and intimate and overwhelming. Tyler woke up and watched us in the dim hospital light. "You're a natural," he said quietly. "I have no idea what I'm doing. None of us do. We just figure it out as we go." After Harper fell back asleep, Tyler said, "I've been meeting with Max twice a week. We have a regular schedule now, Tuesdays and Saturdays. We go to the park, get ice cream, sometimes just hang out at his place and play video games. That's good. He needs consistency." Vanessa and I set up the formal custody arrangement. 50-50 financial responsibility, documented visitation schedule, everything legal and above board. "How's Max handling it?" "He's excited. Keeps asking when he can meet Harper." Tyler paused. "I told him he'll have to wait until you say it's okay. That it's your decision when you're ready for that." I appreciated him deferring to me on this. "Maybe in a few weeks, once we're settled at home. Whenever you're ready." We were quiet for a moment. Then Tyler said, "I found a therapist. Started going 2 weeks ago." "Yeah?" "She specializes in helping people deal with commitment issues and patterns of avoidance. We're working through why I ran from Vanessa, why I lied to you, all of it." He looked at me. "I'm not asking you to take me back. I'm just telling you that I'm doing the work, whether we get back together or not." "That's good, Tyler, really. I also want you to know that I told my parents. About Max, about everything." I was surprised. How did they take it? Mom was shocked and disappointed. Dad said he understood why I panicked, but that running was the worst possible choice. Tyler smiled sadly. He said he'd be there for Max and Harper both if I'd let him meet them. Of course he can meet Harper. She's their granddaughter. And Max? He's their grandson, too. They should know him. The next morning, Vanessa texted me. "Vanessa, congratulations. Tyler told me Harper was born. I'm so happy for you both. Max is thrilled about his little sister. No rush, but when you're ready, we'd love to meet her." I showed the message to Tyler. "She seems genuine." "She is. She's been really good about all this. Supportive even when she had every right to be vindictive." I thought about that. Vanessa could have made everything so much harder, could have used Max as leverage, could have demanded unreasonable things, could have made Tyler's life miserable. Instead, she'd been reasonable and focused on what was best for the children. Maybe we could all figure this out. Maybe our weird, complicated, blended family could actually work. 3 weeks later, I was home in our Pasadena bungalow with Harper, starting to find a rhythm in the chaos of new motherhood. The house felt different without Tyler living there full-time, but also calmer. More mine. Tyler came over every day to see Harper, to help with whatever I needed, to be present as a father. We were cordial, cooperative, focused on the baby. Sometimes it felt almost normal, like we were just a regular couple navigating new parenthood. Other times, the gulf between us felt insurmountable. On a Saturday afternoon in early August, Max came to meet his baby sister. Tyler brought him over, and I could see the boy was nervous. He stood at the door holding a gift bag, shifting from foot to foot. "Hi, Max," I said warmly. "Come on in. I brought something for Harper," he said shyly, holding out the bag. Inside was a soft stuffed dinosaur. "Max picked it out himself," Tyler said. "He thought all babies should have a dinosaur." "It's perfect," I told Max. "Thank you." Harper was asleep in her bassinet in the living room. Max approached cautiously, like she might break. "She's really small," he whispered. "You were this small once." Tyler told him. Really? Really? Want to sit down? You can hold her if you're careful. I settled Max on the couch, showed him how to support Harper's head, and carefully placed her in his arms. She stirred slightly, but didn't wake. The look on Max's face, pure wonder and joy, made my heart squeeze. This was his sister, his family, and watching him look at her with such love, I knew we'd made the right choice in making sure they knew each other. "Hi, Harper," Max said softly. "I'm your big brother. I'm going to teach you about dinosaurs and soccer and all the cool stuff." Tyler was crying again. The man had cried more in the past 3 months than probably his entire life before. After a few minutes, Harper woke up and started fussing. Max carefully handed her back to me. "Is she hungry?" he asked. "Probably. She eats all the time." "Like me," Max said matter-of-factly, and I laughed. Vanessa had stayed in the car, giving us space for this first meeting. But after about 30 minutes, I texted her to come in. "You sure?" she texted back. "Positive. Come meet Harper." When Vanessa entered, she had flowers, a simple bouquet of daisies and sunflowers. "These are beautiful," I said. "Thank you." "Congratulations, Natalie. She's gorgeous." We all sat in my living room, me, Tyler, Vanessa, and Max, this strange configuration of family. Harper passed from person to person, comfortable in all of their arms. "This is weird, right?" I said at one point. "This whole situation?" "Definitely weird," Vanessa agreed. "But also kind of nice?" And it was. Against all odds, with all the pain and betrayal and complexity, we were making it work. Not because it was easy, or because anyone was perfect, but because we'd all decided that the children deserved better than our hurt feelings. 4 months after Harper's birth, November, Tyler and I were having dinner at a restaurant in Old Pasadena, our first actual date since before the baby shower. Harper was with Lauren for the evening, and Max was with Vanessa. We had 3 hours of child-free time, and I'd almost forgotten what that felt like. "You look beautiful," Tyler said across the table. "I'm covered in spit-up and haven't slept more than 4 hours straight in months. Still beautiful." We ordered food, made small talk about Harper's latest developments. She was starting to smile, to track objects with her eyes, to make the most adorable cooing sounds. Finally, Tyler said, "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest." "Okay. Is there any chance for us? Any possibility that you could forgive me enough to try again?" I'd been thinking about this question for months. Honestly, I don't know. Some days I think maybe we could rebuild. Other days, I remember those 18 months of lies and I can't imagine trusting you again. That's fair. But Tyler, I've also been thinking about what our marriage was like before, and I've realized something. What? I wasn't happy. Not really. I was comfortable, I was content, but there was always this sense that I was playing a role. The supportive wife, the one who didn't ask too many questions, who gave you space and freedom and trust without requiring you to earn it. Tyler looked stricken. "You never said—" "I know, because I didn't fully realize it until everything fell apart. But the truth is, our marriage had problems before I found out about Max. He just brought them all to the surface." "What kind of problems?" "Communication, intimacy, real intimacy, not just physical but emotional. We were partners in running a household, but were we really partners in life? Did we share our fears, our dreams, our authentic selves? I thought we did. So did I. But then I realized that I'd been making myself smaller, easier, more convenient, and you'd been keeping huge parts of yourself secret. That's not a real partnership." We sat in silence while our food arrived. After the server left, Tyler said, "So what are you saying? That even if you forgive me about Max, our marriage is over?" "I'm saying that I don't want to go back to what we had. If we're going to try again, it has to be something completely different. Something more honest, more real, more challenging." "I want that," Tyler said quickly. "Whatever you need, whatever it takes. I need you to keep doing the work. Therapy, being present for both kids, being honest even when it's hard. I need to see sustained change over time, not just promises." "How much time?" "I don't know. A year? 2 years? Until I can look at you and not wonder what you're hiding. That's a long time to be in limbo. That's what happens when you destroy trust. It takes a long time to rebuild. Tyler nodded slowly. I understand. And I'll wait. However long it takes. Or you might decide that waiting isn't worth it. That you'd rather move on, find someone new, start fresh. I don't want someone new. I want you. Right now you do. But a year from now, 2 years, you might feel differently. I won't. I looked at him. Really looked at him. He'd changed over the past months. Lost weight from stress, but also seemed more present, more grounded. The therapy was helping. Being a consistent father to Max was helping. Having to face consequences for his choices was helping. But was it enough? I can't make you any promises, I said. All I can offer is the possibility that maybe, someday, if you do the work and I do the work, and we're both willing to be vulnerable and honest, maybe we could try again. I'll take maybe, Tyler said. Maybe is better than no. We finished dinner, talking about easier things. Harper's pediatrician appointment, Max's upcoming soccer tournament, the holidays approaching. When Tyler drove me home, he walked me to the door but didn't try to kiss me, didn't push for more than I was offering. Thank you for tonight, he said, for giving me hope. Thank you for being patient. After he left, I went inside to find Lauren and Harper cuddled on the couch. My sister looked up with a question in her eyes. How'd it go? Okay, good, maybe, I don't know. I took Harper from her arms, breathing in that perfect baby smell. I told him I need time, that I can't promise anything. And he's okay with that? He says he is. Whether he actually will be remains to be seen. What do you want, Nat? Forget about what's practical or what's best for Harper. What do you actually want? I thought about the question. I want to believe in love again. I want to trust someone completely. I want a partnership where both people show up fully, honestly, courageously. Can Tyler be that person? I don't know, but I'm willing to give him a chance to try. 1 year later, July Harper's first birthday party was held in our backyard, the same place where my baby shower had been. But this time, the guests included Max, Vanessa, Tyler's parents, and a host of other people who made up our unconventional family. Harper smashed a pink cake with enthusiasm, getting frosting everywhere, laughing with delight. Max helped her open presents, explaining what each toy did with the authority of an 8-year-old who knew everything. Tyler and I worked together, comfortable in a way we hadn't been in years. We'd been doing couples therapy for 6 months, slowly rebuilding trust, learning to communicate honestly. We hadn't moved back in together yet. That still felt too soon. But we were dating, spending time together, co-parenting effectively. Were we happy? Not yet. But we were healing. And sometimes healing is the best you can hope for. Vanessa approached me as I was cutting more cake. This is a great party. Harper's loving every minute. Thanks for coming. It means a lot. Max wouldn't have missed it. He talks about Harper constantly. She smiled. I'm glad we could make this work. The whole co-parenting thing, I mean. I know it hasn't been easy. No, but it's been worth it. For them. I gestured toward Max and Harper, who were now playing with bubbles. Can I ask you something personal? Sure. Are you and Tyler getting back together? I considered the question. Maybe. We're taking it slow. Figuring out if we can build something new from what broke. I hope you can. Not because I think you owe him anything, but because I can see how hard you're both working. That deserves a chance. After the party, after the guests left and we'd cleaned up, Tyler stayed to help put Harper to bed. She was exhausted from the excitement, falling asleep almost immediately after her bath. We stood in her nursery watching her sleep, and I felt Tyler's hand find mine. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For this. For giving me a chance to be the father I should have been all along. For letting Max be part of Harper's life. For not giving up completely. I didn't do it for you, I said honestly. I did it for them. I know. But still, thank you. We stood there in the darkness, holding hands, watching our daughter breathe. And I thought about that text message a year ago. What time does it end? And my response, is this your only kid? At the time, it had been an accusation. A way of calling out Tyler's deception, of forcing the truth into the light. But now I saw it differently, because finding out about Max hadn't ended anything. It had revealed the truth, yes, had caused pain and upheaval and forced difficult changes, but it had also given Harper a brother, had pushed Tyler to finally face his past and grow up, had shown me that I was stronger than I knew, capable of handling complications I never imagined. Sometimes the questions we ask in anger lead us to answers we didn't know we needed, and sometimes the families we build from broken pieces end up stronger than the ones we'd carefully planned.